Hi, and welcome to this edition of Industry Innovators. Today, we're tackling a topic that sits at the very core and foundation of every workplace, and that's understanding where employer responsibility ends and employee responsibility begins and how it interacts on the job site. So, my name is Nicole Carey, and I'm a senior HR consultant with the HR Advantage. I have over 15 years of experience working in HR with a number of different types of organizations in different fields. And my work primarily focuses on helping teams sort out the people stuff. It's messy, complicated, and the human side of the business doesn't always come with a very clear instruction manual. And that can mean I work with clients on clarifying roles and expectations, helping leaders communicate effectively, or putting systems in place so accountability feels fair and consistent on both sides. My approach is always simple and practical and grounded. I don't like to use corporate fluff or jargon. I like to come up with practical tools that help our clients. So today we're going to dig into how employees and employers share responsibility for things on the at the workplace, like culture, communication, performance, and what it looks like when everything's balanced. So as I mentioned, I'm an HR consultant with the HR Advantage, and we're a team that takes care of HR, payroll, health and safety, and compliance so business owners can focus on actually running their business. We don't just hand over templates or throw legal jargon out at you. We really like to roll up our sleeves and work alongside our clients to ensure that they're getting the results they'd like. Our goal is simple. We take HR and compliance off your plate and handle it proactively so you're never stuck with surprises or last minute scrambles. All right, so an overview of what we're going to talk about today. When you hire someone, you're not just trading hours of their day for the money that you're paying them in their paycheck. You're really entering in to both a legal and working relationship, and both sides have responsibilities in order to make that work. So all too often employers think it's all on the worker, and workers always think it's all on the employer to make sure that the responsibilities are aligned either one way or the other. But the truth is, it's a partnership and it's meant to be collaborative and it's a two-way street. So we're going to talk today about how to break down sort of what's expected of employers and employees, both with in consideration of Alberta's employment standards, common sense, workplace practices, and just kind of the things that go on day to day at the work site. So going over employer responsibilities, as an employer, you carry the bigger legal load. So some of the things you have to do, non-negotiables. You have to pay on time and accurately, and that includes wages, vacation pay, overtime, holiday pay. You must meet or beat Alberta Employment Minimum Standards. You cannot contract out of the minimum. Late or short pay is a fast way to get a non-compliant. It's a fast way to get a complaint through Alberta Employment Standards. Those can get messy, it's complicated, it's time that you don't want to spend. So just make sure that everything is compliant and that you're paying on time and accurately. You are also required to provide a safe workplace. So there's legislation with this under Alberta Human Rights, Alberta Occupational Health and Safety, even employment standards. So this includes things like proper training, proper equipment, making sure your equipment is up to code and safe, following all health and safety regulations. You are expected to not only prevent accidents, but if they are occurring, you have to react to them in an appropriate way. You are required to follow the law. So in terms of Alberta employment standards, things like hours of work, breaks, termination notice, payroll deductions, notice of schedule changes. There's a number of different things, leaves that apply. There's a number of different things that you are required to follow. You are also required to be respectful and to be fair. You are expected to have no harassment on the work site. You are not the one conducting the harassment. There should be no discrimination, either in the way you're acting with your employees, they're acting with you, they're acting with each other. And just overall, you really set the tone and culture for the job site. But then again, there's a legislative component with Alberta Human Rights and Occupational Health and Safety. So communication as well, you are expected to make your expectations clear. That includes everything from schedules to policies, job duties, start and end, pay, anything that you're communicating to your employees must be clear. If it's not clear to you, it won't be clear to your team. Those are some things to remember. So just a little leadership tip here. And I'm going to talk some sports analogies, even though that's not my normal strong suit. But think of the employers. You are setting the field. You're responsible for putting up the goalposts. Allegedly, that's something in football, marking the lines and making sure the game can happen. Okay, so that was a bit about employer responsibilities and kind of the game and that game and sports analogy there. Let's talk now about employee responsibilities. So employees are not off the hook. They have clear responsibilities too. They need to show up, be ready to work on time, be prepared, and be fit for duty. That's just the baseline. They also have to follow directions. That's both directions from the employer and that's legislated to you by health and safety or employment standards or any sort of like safety protocols, anything like that. As long as the instructions are safe and legal, employees are expected to follow them. They are also expected to respect the team. That means no harassment, no bullying, and no discrimination. The golden rule: treat others the way you expect to be treated. They are also expected to care for your property, for company property, things like trucks, tools, phones. If it belongs to the business, employees should be treating it as if it was their own. And they are also expected to communicate honestly. Call if you're sick, give notice if you're resigning, and then be upfront about mistakes or concerns. Okay, so moving on to some more sports analogies. If the employers are setting up the field and determining the goalposts and determining kind of the rules of the game, the employees are playing the game. So they are expected to show up, play fair, and do their part so that the whole team can win. So there's some responsibilities on the worksite where the responsibilities overlap between employers and employees. They fall kind of safely in the middle of the road. So things like safety, for example, employers are expected to provide training and gear, but employees are expected to actually use the gear and follow the safety practices. So both sides really need to step up when it comes to safety. Same goes for respect. Employers are expected to model respectful behavior and set the expectation on the job site. Employees need to match it and carry it forward throughout their team and throughout their workplace. The other place is communication. Communication is not just one way, as we all know. Employers must, again, set the expectation, but the employees must speak up if they're unclear or they're struggling or they require more information. All right, so a very short example here. If an employer provides a safety harness, but the worker refuses to wear it, both sides are at fault when something goes wrong. That's a very clear example of the employer responsibility is to provide the harness and determine that that task requires additional safety measures, but it's also the employee's responsibility to wear the harness, wear it properly, and if that doesn't happen, both sides are at fault. Right, so supervisors and managers also need to know where the lines are drawn. Leaders who don't understand employer responsibilities risk breaking the law. Leaders who don't hold employees accountable can let problems spread throughout the team. So it's important to train leaders on Alberta Employment Standards basics, occupational health and safety basics, human rights basics, all those sort of fundamental pieces of legislation that affect how a workplace is run. It's important to teach supervisors how to have tough conversations when employees aren't meeting their responsibilities or their accountabilities. Emphasize cultural sensitivity and fairness, and ensure that responsibilities are enforced consistently across your team so there's no additional confusion. So overall, it's important to know that the employment relationship is a partnership. Employers are expected to set the rules, pay fairly, and provide a safe place to work, while employees show up to do the work, respect the workplace, and follow the rules. When both sides take their responsibilities seriously, the work can get done, people stick around, the job site runs smoother, there's no complaints. When one side drops the ball, everything gets harder. It's not about being perfect, it's just about showing up and doing your part and respecting the agreement that you both signed up for when you took on that team member to your team. So strong workplaces thrive when employers set clear expectations and employees take ownership of their part in making things work. So if your team's been struggling, please don't panic, start small, be honest, and start with clear conversations about what is expected on both sides. I'd like to thank you for joining us today for this edition of Industry Innovators. If you'd like additional help building maybe some practical policies, clear communication, or developing some accountability systems that actually work, please reach out to us at hello@hradvantageservices.com, or you can visit our website at hradvantageservices.com. Mackenzie and I are both very active on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with us there, keep the conversation going. We're happy to help you build your team in any way possible, so please reach out, and thanks again for joining us.